Mm-hmm.
And that there is no evil in the universe. Even the archons are not evil as such. What happens is, and this is the trick, this is the sinister and deviant trick. The archons are messengers of error. They're deceivers, evil deceivers who use simulation. How? That is to say, they simulate. They work through hoaxes. Does that ring a bell for anyone? Wherever you see a hoax happening in the world today, human beings are pulling it off. I'm not saying the archons pulled off 9/11. Human beings pulled off 9/11. But the hoax of the war on terror and the hoax of 9/11 was done by human beings who have been dehumanized by this archontic influence. And they are human beings in whom error and deceit are out of control. And when error and deceit run out of control in our species, we turn upon ourselves and we become demonic. We are the demonic force in the universe. We are the source of these demons. There are Satan does not exist as an independent entity ruling from some hell world with his bat wings flapping. This is a projection of our own evil. We have got to cop to our own act. That is the only way we will ever break out of the spell of the archons and out of the insanity of this destructive, perverted behavior that is taking the world off course. We've got to cop to our own demons and our own responsibility. And one of the best ways, I think the best way to do that is to learn this story. Because when we learn this story, we know, first of all, what is the divine experiment. We know what it is. We know why we're here. To live out the dream of the goddess. And not only that, but here's the great news. She's here to live it out with us. That's a very unusual situation. Normally, an aeon who would be at the core of an experiment such as ours would not be so involved. She's like a teacher who goes on a field trip with us and actually does the experiments of the field trip and paddles up the river with us, and we're involved with her. And this is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for the flowering of our species. So I call Sophia's dream for humanity the divine experiment. So we need to first know that there is a divine experiment here and believe in it. This planet can be an Eden. It can be a social utopia. It can never be perfect. I don't mean it will be a perfect world. There will always be some conflict. There will always be misunderstanding and difficulties. But nothing on the scale of what happens when the archons take control.
Oh, right. And the thing that bothers me is that with all the mind control and fear, that we've been reduced to a disconnected state, living in large cities, which further alienate us from our connection to the goddess. And the patriarchy, through the various forms it takes, the secret societies, the Bilderbergs, Trilateral Commission, whatever you want to call it, they have their own agenda, and they're pouring everything they can into, through our shadows, which are unprocessed, into further controlling us with cameras everywhere and controls and restrictions. We've lost our freedom. We never were free, right? We were born into slavery. We just didn't realize it because we were like the frog in the pot. We were born into the pot, and it's been simmering ever since, and it's about to boil.
It appears to be about to boil. I would put it in this way. I would say that we have reached a point where the insanity of the human species, due to this archontic infection, is cracking. It's cracking wide open. And a number of things will result from that. One is that the insanity will break in the same way that an abscess breaks when you lance it. It's like lancing a horrible infection. This infection is about to break.
Well,
that means
I
that
sure
there's going to
hope
be,
so.
there's going to be a fair amount, there's going to be a certain amount of ugliness because it's not pretty to punch open an abscess if you've ever done it. But on the other hand, this is the moment of our liberation and the moment of our return to the recognition of the goddess and cooperation with her.
Yeah.
And several things are crucial for this correction. The Gnostics even spoke of Gaia's correction, Sophia's correction, meaning that she herself would correct this problem. And I can tell you, on my experience as a practicing Gnostic and on my background as a scholar, I can tell you that that correction is underway right now. Right now. Since March of this year, Sophia's correction is underway, and it's going to unfold very, very rapidly. And so, and the number of things that we can do to align ourselves with the goddess are many, of course. We can do it in many ways, but we have very little time here, so I'd just like to quickly give my suggestion on the two most effective ways. Claim back your power. Claim back the power of being a true human being, a sovereign human being. You know, the nature of the archontic virus is deceit, deception. It can only function by deception. And to a great degree, the power that these people wield, these sick psychopaths, it is a power of deception. They do everything behind deception. If they didn't have deception, they couldn't wield power over us. They couldn't enslave us. So, take back your own personal power, connect yourself to the earth, to Gaia Sophia, the goddess, and develop your power with the earth. Realize that you are a child of nature, and that nature is all healing and all wise. So connect with the goddess in that way. Get out of the cities if you can. Get back into the country and get into some relation to the natural world and the magic and supernatural magic that's there. And secondly, whenever you are confronted with the archonic menace, the globalist controllers, the psychopaths, always remember that their power is a power of deceit, but their power is also a deception. It's an illusion. There is no real power except the power that comes from the goddess, who is our source. Their power is the power of illusion and delusion. And when you can make that distinction in every sphere of life, you can start to unmesh yourself from the spider web of perverse insanity that has been thrown over the human race. We are free.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
We are free.
Yeah.
We are free. And our lack of freedom is just part of their deception. It's part of their mind control program. You know, it would be very difficult for me to actually control you, another human being. But if I could convince you that I was controlling you through your mind, the job would be done for me. And that's how they operate. And that's where you have to crack down on them and not buy into that deception.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, that allows us to begin to process our own shadow and to go within and be the authentic humans that we truly are. We are compassionate. We are creative. We're actually, we're brilliant when we're allowed to express ourselves freely and authentically. And it's this false construct that has kind of enamored us, and I just hope that we're going to break through it. We're reaching the end of many cycles, aren't we? You mentioned March, and that's the beginning of the 9th wave of the Mayan calendar, and that seems to be a propitious time.
Absolutely. I didn't arrive at it. Several people have written me and pointed that out, by the way. I didn't know at the time that I announced that Sophia's correction began on March 19th of this year. I didn't know that it was correlated to the 9th wave. I'm very happy to hear that. We are definitely in a moment unique to the human species. We're in the moment when we reclaim our divine birthright. And this is not a matter of hope. This is not a matter of fantasy. This is a matter of a sacred commitment to humanity and to the earth. And if you make that commitment, I believe that you will find that there is so much more in us and so little in the powers that appear to control us that the balance of power can change and can shift perhaps far more quickly than one might imagine.
Well, I certainly hope so. I do believe that that's true, and otherwise I wouldn't have as much hope as I do that things can change in a twinkling of an eye. And it does feel as if that process is accelerating. And sometimes I wonder what will happen to the dark side or the dark aspect. And I suppose it's not necessary to worry about that. It will take care of it.
No, but the question of what to do with interspecies predators is a question that must be borne on the conscience of every true human being, you know? If you're in a room with 100 people and 4 or 5 of them are psychopaths who could do harm to all those other people in the room and yourself through their need for control and their deception, you would be a fool and an idiot if you are not able to identify those psychopaths and call them on their game. And we need to do that. That responsibility is part of the correction that's now unfolding.
Well, you know, John, the time has flown by, and I could talk to you for hours. But we have just a minute left for you to tell people where your site is and where they can find your material at Metahistory and so on and so forth.
Sure. My site is metahistory.org on the web, and just go there and click on the site guide. And I've recorded some tapes that I can kind of give you a walking tour through the site. It's massive. I don't want you to get lost in there. So if you listen to my tour, it might help you orient yourself. And that's it. And within that is my second site called Planetary Tantra, and that is contained within metahistory.org.
Wonderful, John. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and a treat and an honor to be able to talk with you. I love your website. I love your work, and it truly points a way out of this mess. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's really a wonderful experience.
Well, it's my pleasure. May you find your way into the beauty and power of the Wisdom Goddess.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, good night, everybody, and good night, John.